I opened the wedding invitation and my hands started shaking so hard I almost dropped it. My ex-husband Marcus was getting married and he wanted me there. Not because he missed me, not because he felt sorry, but because he wanted to watch me suffer while he showed off his new perfect life. The gold letters on the fancy card seemed to laugh at me. You are invited to celebrate the union of Marcus Chen and Victoria Blackwell. There was a handwritten note at the bottom in Marcus's messy handwriting. Please come, Emma. I'd love for you to see how happy I am now. Wear something nice if you can afford it. My heart felt like someone squeezed it tight. 3 years ago, Marcus threw me out of our apartment like I was garbage. He said I was boring. He said I had no dreams. He said I would never be anything special. He took everything we built together and gave it to his new girlfriend, Victoria, who had shiny hair and worked at a big company and drove a red car that cost more than our old apartment. But Marcus didn't know something big, something that would make his wedding day very, very different from what he planned. I smiled and put the invitation on my kitchen table. Let me tell you how I got here. Let me tell you the real story. But before I continue, kindly like, share and subscribe to this channel, and please comment below where you are watching from. Now let's continue. 3 years ago, I was married to Marcus Chen. We met in college when we were both young and stupid and thought love was enough. Marcus worked at a car shop fixing engines. I worked at a coffee shop making drinks for people who never said thank you. We were poor, but I was happy. I thought he was happy too. I was wrong. One night, I came home early from work. My feet hurt from standing all day. I smelled like coffee and milk. I just wanted to take a bath and watch TV with my husband. But when I opened our apartment door, I heard laughing. Not Marcus's laugh, a woman's laugh. High and pretty and mean. I walked into our bedroom and there they were, Marcus and Victoria, in our bed. The bed where I slept every night, thinking I was loved. Marcus didn't even look sorry. He looked annoyed that I came home early. Emma, he said, pulling on his shirt. We need to talk. Victoria just smiled at me. Her lipstick was perfect. Her hair was perfect. Everything about her was perfect and expensive and better than me. There's nothing to talk about, I said. My voice sounded far away, like it belonged to someone else. Get out. Actually, Marcus said, standing up tall like he was the boss of everything, you need to get out. This is my apartment. I pay the rent. You're just a coffee girl who can't even afford new shoes. He pointed at my old sneakers. They had holes in them. I was saving money to buy new ones, but we needed to pay the electric bill first. I work hard, I whispered. Tears started falling down my face. I hated that I was crying in front of Victoria. She looked so happy to see me cry. You work at a coffee shop, Marcus laughed. Victoria works at Blackwell Industries. Her father owns half the city. She's going places. You're just stuck. We're married, I said. We promised to love each other forever. I was young and stupid, Marcus said. I'm not stupid anymore. I'm done with this life. I'm done with cheap dinners and old clothes and a wife who has no dreams. Victoria and I are going to build something real, something big. You can't give me that. Victoria stood up and put her hand on Marcus's arm. She was wearing a gold bracelet that probably cost more than I made in a year. Don't be too hard on her, baby, Victoria said in a fake sweet voice. She did her best. Some people just aren't meant to be successful. That night, I packed my things in 2 old bags and left. I had nowhere to go. My parents died when I was young. I had no brothers or sisters. My friends from college all moved away to different cities. I slept in my car that night. It was cold. I cried until my eyes hurt and my throat felt like sandpaper. But something happened while I sat there in that cold car with everything I owned in 2 bags. Something changed inside me. I got angry. Not sad angry. Not crying angry. Cold angry. The kind of angry that makes you strong. Marcus said I had no dreams. He was wrong. I had dreams. Big dreams. I just never told him because he always made me feel small when I talked about the things I wanted. Since I was a little girl, I loved fashion. I loved clothes and colors and how different fabrics felt. I used to draw dresses in my notebooks during class. I made clothes for my dolls out of old socks and ribbons. But when I told Marcus once that I wanted to learn about fashion and maybe start a small business, he laughed. He said fashion was for rich people and dreamers. He said I should focus on real work. So I stopped drawing. I stopped dreaming. I just made coffee and came home and tried to be a good wife to a man who thought I was worthless. But now I was alone. Now I had nothing to lose. I took the little bit of money I saved hiding from Marcus. It was $300. I'd been putting $5 or $10 away whenever I could, hiding it in an old shoebox. Marcus never knew about it. $300 wasn't much, but it was something. I started small, so small. I rented a tiny room in a bad part of the city. The building smelled weird and the walls were thin and I could hear my neighbors fighting every night. But it was cheap, $50 a week. I got a job at a factory that made clothes. I worked on the machines that sewed shirts and pants. The work was hard. My fingers hurt all the time from the needles. My back hurt from standing. But I learned how clothes were made. I learned about different fabrics. I learned which stitches were strong and which ones fell apart. I learned about patterns and sizes and cuts. At night, after work, I drew. I filled notebook after notebook with dress designs. I went to the library and read every book they had about fashion. I watched videos on the computers there about famous designers and how they started. Everyone at the factory thought I was crazy. Why are you reading all those books? they asked. You think you're going to be famous or something? I didn't answer. I just kept working, kept learning, kept drawing. After 6 months, I had saved another $500. I bought a sewing machine at a thrift store. It was old and made weird noises, but it worked. I started making clothes in my tiny room. Simple things at first. Scarves, bags, simple dresses. I sold them online for cheap, very cheap, just enough to buy more fabric. Slowly, people started buying my things. They liked them. They said my designs were different, fresh, pretty but not too fancy, good quality but not expensive. I worked every day. Factory job during the day, sewing at night. Sometimes I only slept 3 or 4 hours. I was tired all the time. My eyes hurt, my hands hurt, but I didn't stop. 1 year after Marcus threw me out, I quit the factory job. My online store was making enough money that I could sew full-time. I moved to a better apartment. Not fancy, but clean, with good light for sewing. My store grew. I hired 2 other women to help me sew, then 5 women, then 10. We moved into a real workspace. A small one, but real. I called my company Emma's Designs. Simple, easy to remember. But something else happened during this time. Something I didn't expect. I found out I was pregnant. I remember the day I took the test. My hands were shaking just like they shook when I opened Marcus's wedding invitation. But that was a different kind of shaking. That was fear shaking mixed with hope shaking. The test said positive, pregnant, Marcus's baby. From before he left me, before Victoria, before everything broke, I sat on my bathroom floor and cried. But this time I wasn't crying from sadness. I was crying because I was scared and happy and confused all at the same time. I was alone. I had no family. My business was just starting. How could I raise a baby? But then I touched my belly and something inside me got very quiet and very strong. I can do this, I said out loud to my empty apartment. I will do this. I went to the doctor. I expected her to tell me I was having 1 baby, just 1. Actually, the doctor said, looking at the screen with the ultrasound picture, you're having 3 babies, triplets. I almost fell off the examination table. 3? I whispered. 3 babies? The doctor smiled. 3 healthy babies. Congratulations. I walked out of that doctor's office in a daze. 3 babies. 3 little people who would need food and clothes and love and everything. Most people would have been scared. Most people would have thought it was too much. But you know what I felt? I felt strong. Like the universe was telling me I could handle anything. Because if I could handle 3 babies alone, I could handle anything this world threw at me. My business kept growing. I worked harder than ever, knowing I needed to make enough money before the babies came. Emma's designs started getting attention, real attention. Fashion bloggers wrote about my clothes. Small magazines interviewed me. People in other cities started buying my dresses. I hired more people. I moved to a bigger workspace. I designed more styles. 8 months pregnant with 3 babies, I could barely walk. I was huge. My back hurt all the time. My feet were swollen like balloons. But I kept working. My employees told me to rest. Emma, you need to take care of yourself, they said. We can handle things for a few weeks. But I couldn't rest. Not yet. I needed to make sure everything was perfect before my babies came. One night, I was working late at the office. Everyone else had gone home. I was alone, sitting at my desk, looking at numbers on my computer screen. Then I felt it. A sharp pain in my belly. Then another. Then water running down my legs. The babies were coming. I called 911. The ambulance came fast. The hospital was 10 minutes away, but it felt like 10 hours. The birth was hard. So hard. 3 babies trying to come out all at once. The doctors had to do surgery to get them out safely. But then I heard them. 3 little cries. 3 perfect voices. 2 boys and 1 girl. I named them Jake, Luke, and Sophie. They were so small, so perfect, so mine. I looked at their tiny faces and made them a promise right there in that hospital room. I will give you everything, I whispered. I will work hard and make a good life for us. You will never feel poor or small or worthless. You will know you are loved every single day. Being a single mother to triplets while running a business was the hardest thing I ever did. Some nights I didn't sleep at all. Feed the babies, change them, put them to sleep, work on designs, answer emails, feed them again, change them again, check orders, pay bills, hold them when they cried, work some more. I hired a nanny to help during the day. Her name was Rose. She was old and kind and loved my babies like they were her own grandchildren. She saved my life during those first few months. But something amazing happened while I was struggling and working and barely surviving. Emma's designs exploded. A famous actress wore one of my dresses to an award show. She posted a picture on social media and tagged my company. Suddenly, everyone wanted my clothes. Orders came in so fast, we couldn't keep up. I had to hire 50 more people, then 100, then 200. We moved into a huge building. A real factory with proper machines and offices and everything. Big stores wanted to sell my clothes. Department stores in New York and Los Angeles and Chicago called me. They wanted Emma's designs in their shops. I was making more money than I ever dreamed about. More money than Marcus would make in his whole life fixing cars. But I didn't let the money change me. I remembered what it felt like to be poor and scared and alone. I paid my workers well. I treated them with respect. I made sure they had good insurance and vacation time and a nice place to work. My employees loved working for me. They worked hard because they wanted to, not because they had to. When the triplets turned 2 years old, Emma's Designs was the fastest growing fashion company in the country. We were in magazines, on TV, everywhere. And still, I never forgot where I came from. I never forgot that night crying in my car with all my things in 2 old bags. That memory kept me humble. It kept me strong. It reminded me why I worked so hard. Then one day, something happened that changed everything again. I was at a charity event for sick children. Emma's Designs donated money and clothes for kids in hospitals. I went to the event to meet the children and take pictures. That's where I met David Park. He was tall and quiet and had kind eyes. He was wearing a nice suit, but he didn't act fancy or proud. He smiled at the children and talked to them like they were important. He got down on his knees to be at their level. He listened when they talked. "You're Emma," he said when he saw me. "The designer. My little niece loves your dresses. She has 6 of them." "Thank you," I said. "That means a lot." "I'm David," he said. "I work in technology. Boring stuff compared to fashion." We talked for a while. He was easy to talk to. He asked about my business, but he also asked about me. Not my company, not my success, just me. "Do you have kids?" he asked. 3, I said. Triplets, 2 boys and a girl. They're 2 years old. Most men would have made a weird face when I said that. 3 kids. Single mother. Too much responsibility. But David smiled. A real smile that reached his eyes. "That sounds amazing," he said. "And exhausting." I laughed. "It's both." We exchanged numbers. He texted me the next day and asked if I wanted to get coffee. I said yes. That coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into walks in the park with my kids. Walks turned into Sunday breakfasts where David brought donuts and made the triplets laugh. David was different from Marcus in every way. He was gentle, patient. He listened when I talked. He helped with the kids without being asked. He treated me like I was important. Not because I had money or success, but just because I was me. "I need to tell you something," David said one night after we'd been dating for 6 months. My heart jumped. Was he going to say he couldn't handle my life? 3 kids? A busy job? Was he going to leave like Marcus left? "Okay," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "My full name is David Park," he said. "My family owns Park Industries. We work in technology, real estate, and investments. My family is, well, we're very wealthy." I blinked. Park Industries. I'd heard of them. They were one of the biggest companies in the world. "You're a billionaire," I whispered. "My family is," he said. "I work at the company, but I try to live a normal life. I don't tell people right away because they treat me differently when they know they want something from me. But you never asked me about money. You never acted like you needed anything from me. You just liked me for me." "I did," I said. "I do." "That's why I'm telling you now," David said. "Because I'm falling in love with you, Emma, and I want you to know everything about me. No secrets, no surprises." I started crying. Happy crying. The good kind of crying, where your heart feels so full it might explode. "I'm falling in love with you too," I said. David and I got engaged after 1 year of dating. He proposed at home, in my living room, with the triplets running around making noise and knocking things over. It was perfect. He didn't just love me. He loved my children. He played with them. He read them bedtime stories. He taught Jake and Luke how to build things with blocks. He braided Sophie's hair even though he was terrible at it, and it always came out messy. The triplets called him Papa David. He cried the first time Sophie said it. My life had become everything I never thought I could have. A successful business, 3 healthy, happy children, a man who loved me truly and completely. Not for my money, not for what I could give him, just for me. Then one day the invitation came. "Marcus Chen and Victoria Blackwell request your presence at their wedding." The handwritten note at the bottom. "Please come, Emma. I'd love for you to see how happy I am now. Wear something nice if you can afford it." I showed the invitation to David that night. "Are you going to go?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "I'm definitely going." "Why?" he asked. "He doesn't deserve your time." "Because I want him to see," I said. "I want him to see what he threw away. I want him to see that I'm not the poor, worthless coffee girl he thought I was. I want him to understand that he didn't break me. He made me stronger." David smiled. "Then we're all going. Me, you, and the kids." "Really?" "Really," he said. "If you're walking into that wedding, you're not walking in alone. You're walking in with your family." I hugged him tight. Some women get revenge by forgetting. Some women get revenge by moving on quietly. But I wanted Marcus to see. I wanted him to know exactly what he lost. The wedding was 3 weeks away. I had plenty of time to prepare. I designed a custom dress for myself. Elegant but not too fancy. Expensive but not showy. A deep navy blue that made me look confident and powerful. I wanted to look successful, but I didn't want to look like I was trying too hard. I bought matching outfits for the triplets. Tiny suits for Jake and Luke. A beautiful dress for Sophie. David would wear one of his custom suits. He had a closet full of them, but he rarely wore them. He preferred simple clothes. But for this, he said he'd wear his best one. The day of the wedding came. I woke up early and got everyone ready. The triplets were excited because Papa David said we were going to a party. They didn't understand what was really happening. They just knew they got to wear fancy clothes and eat cake. My hands were shaking again as I got dressed. The same shaking from when I opened the invitation. But this time, I wasn't scared. I was ready. The wedding was at the West Side Grand Hotel. the fanciest hotel in the city. Victoria's family was rich, so of course everything had to be expensive and perfect. We pulled up to the hotel in David's Bentley. His driver opened the door for us. I stepped out first, holding Sophie. David got out next, holding Jake's and Luke's hands. People were arriving for the wedding. Fancy people in fancy clothes with fancy jewellery. They all stared at us, at the Bentley, at David's expensive suit, at my custom dress, at the 3 beautiful children. A few people whispered. I heard my name. Is that Emma? Emma Harris? From Emma's Designs? We walked through the hotel entrance. The wedding ceremony was in the grand ballroom. My heart was beating so fast. This was it. The moment I'd been imagining for 3 weeks. We walked into the ballroom. It was decorated with white flowers and gold ribbons and candles everywhere. Very fancy, very Victoria. Guests were sitting in rows of white chairs, waiting for the ceremony to start. I saw Marcus standing at the front with the officiant. He was wearing a black tuxedo. His hair was styled perfectly. He looked happy and proud and confident. He hadn't seen me yet. We walked down the side aisle looking for seats. The triplets were being good, holding hands and walking quietly. Then Marcus turned around. He saw me. His face went white. His mouth dropped open. His eyes got huge. He saw the dress, the jewelry, the perfect hair and makeup, the 3 children, David beside me in his custom suit, the confidence in the way I walked. This wasn't the poor coffee girl he threw away. This wasn't the woman with holes in her shoes who cried when he kicked her out. This was someone new, someone successful, someone strong, someone who clearly didn't need him at all. Marcus just stared. He couldn't even close his mouth. People around us were whispering now. They recognized me from magazines and TV. That's Emma Harris. Emma's Designs. Those are her triplets. Is that David Park? From Park Industries? They're engaged, I heard. Marcus heard the whispers too. I could see it on his face. The shock, the confusion, the realization that he'd made a terrible, terrible mistake. We found seats near the middle. I sat down, smoothing my dress. David sat beside me, holding Luke. Sophie sat on my lap. Jake sat between David and me. I looked straight ahead, calm and confident. But inside I was screaming. Inside I was dancing. Inside I was victorious. The music started playing. Everyone got quiet. Victoria walked down the aisle in a big white dress that probably cost more than a car. She looked beautiful. Perfect makeup, perfect hair, perfect smile. But I didn't feel jealous anymore. I didn't feel small. I felt nothing but calm. Marcus kept looking at me while Victoria walked toward him. He wasn't watching his bride. He was watching me, his ex-wife, the woman he threw away like garbage. Victoria reached the front and took Marcus's hands, but Marcus's eyes kept sliding over to where I sat. He looked confused and shocked and maybe a little bit sick. The officiant started talking about love and forever and promises. The same promises Marcus made to me once. The same promises he broke without even feeling sorry. Sophie wiggled on my lap. "Mama, I'm hungry," she whispered. "Soon, baby," I whispered back. "We'll eat cake soon." David squeezed my hand. He knew this was hard for me, even though I acted strong. He knew that sitting here, watching my ex-husband marry the woman he cheated with, wasn't easy, but he also knew I needed to do this. I needed this moment. The ceremony continued. Marcus and Victoria said their vows. He promised to love her forever, to be faithful, to honor her. I almost laughed. Marcus didn't know how to keep promises. They exchanged rings. They kissed. Everyone clapped. "I now present Mr. and Mrs. Marcus Chen," the officiant said. More clapping. Marcus and Victoria walked back down the aisle together, smiling and waving. When they passed my row, Victoria saw me. Her smile froze. Her eyes got big. She recognized me immediately. She leaned close to Marcus and whispered something. He nodded, his face getting red. They walked past us and out of the ballroom. The ceremony was over. "Can we go now?" Jake asked. "I want to play." "Not yet, buddy," David said. "We need to stay a little longer, but then we'll go get ice cream, big ice cream with sprinkles." "Yay!" all three kids said together. The reception was in the same ballroom. Workers quickly removed the ceremony chairs and set up round tables with white tablecloths and fancy plates and glasses. A woman with a clipboard came over to us. "Can I help you find your seats?" she asked. "We're guests of the groom," I said. "Emma Harris." The woman looked at her clipboard. Her eyes got wide. "Oh, there seems to be a mistake. Your name isn't on the seating chart." "Really?" I said, keeping my voice sweet. "That's strange. I have an invitation." I pulled the invitation from my purse and showed it to her. The handwritten note was still there. "Please come, Emma." The woman looked uncomfortable. Let me go check with someone. Please wait here." She hurried away. David raised his eyebrows. "He invited you but didn't plan seats for you?" "He thought I wouldn't come," I said. "He thought I was too poor and too ashamed to show up. He just sent the invitation to be mean, to make me feel bad." "Well, that backfired," David said with a small smile. The woman came back with another woman who looked important. "Maybe the wedding planner." "Miss Harris?" the wedding planner said, looking stressed. "I'm so sorry for the confusion. The groom says there must have been a mistake with the guest list. There aren't enough seats. Is there a problem?" We all turned around. Victoria was standing there in her big white dress, looking at me with cold eyes. "Victoria," I said, "congratulations on your wedding. You look beautiful." "Thank you," she said, but her voice wasn't friendly. I didn't know you were coming. Marcus invited me, I said, holding up the invitation. Personally. Victoria's jaw got tight. She looked at David, at the triplets, at my dress and jewelry. I could see her brain working, trying to figure out what happened to the poor coffee girl she met 3 years ago. These are your children? She asked. Yes, Jake, Luke and Sophie, my triplets. Marcus's children, she said quietly. No, I said firmly, my children. Marcus gave up any right to them when he threw me out 3 years ago. Victoria's face got red. People nearby were listening now. The drama was better than any wedding entertainment. And this is my fiancé, David Park, I continued. David, this is Victoria Blackwell. I mean, Victoria Chen now. David nodded politely but didn't shake her hand. He was too busy holding Luke, who was trying to grab the flowers from a nearby table. Park, Victoria repeated. Her eyes got big. As in Park Industries? That's right, David said simply. You could see the wheels turning in Victoria's head. She was doing the math. Park Industries was worth billions, much more than her father's company, much more than anything Marcus would ever have. Well, Victoria said, trying to smile, I suppose we can find room for you at one of the tables. The wedding planner will. Actually, I interrupted, we won't be staying for dinner. We just came to the ceremony to support Marcus. But the children need to get home. It's almost their bedtime. This was a lie. It was only 6 in the evening. But I didn't want to stay. I'd seen what I came to see. Marcus's face when he realized what he lost. Victoria's face when she realized I wasn't poor and pathetic anymore. That was enough. Oh, Victoria said. She looked confused, maybe disappointed, like she wanted to show me off to her guests. That's too bad. But before we go, I said, I'd love to congratulate Marcus personally. Is he around? He's in the groom's room with his friends, Victoria said. Down the hall, 3rd door on the left. Thank you, I said. David, can you watch the kids for a minute? Of course, David said. He knew what I was about to do. I walked out of the ballroom and down the fancy hallway. My heels clicked on the marble floor. I felt powerful, strong, ready. I reached the 3rd door and knocked. Yeah? Marcus's voice called out. I opened the door. Marcus was inside with 3 of his friends. They were drinking beer and laughing about something. When Marcus saw me, he stopped laughing. His face went pale again. Emma, he said. What are you? I just wanted to congratulate you, I said, walking into the room. On your wedding. You look very happy. His friends looked uncomfortable. They could feel the tension in the air. Thanks, Marcus said. He couldn't look me in the eyes. I didn't think you'd actually come. Why wouldn't I asked. You invited me. You wrote that nice note asking me to come. You even suggested I wear something nice if I could afford it. Marcus's face got red. His friends tried not to laugh. "Look, Emma," he started. "Do you remember what you said to me 3 years ago?" I interrupted. "You said I was boring. You said I had no dreams. You said I would never be anything special." "I was angry," Marcus said quietly. "I didn't mean—" "Yes, you did," I said. "You meant every word. And you know what? I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you threw me out. Because if you hadn't, I would still be that scared coffee girl married to a man who didn't value her." "You've done well for yourself," Marcus said, his voice tight. "I saw the news. Emma's designs. Very impressive." "Thank you," I said. "And the triplets are doing great too. Jake and Luke love building things. Sophie loves drawing. They're smart and healthy and happy." Marcus's face changed. "Triplets," he whispered. "They're mine?" "Biologically, yes," I said. "But you're not their father. You gave up that right when you kicked me out while I was pregnant and didn't look back." "I didn't know you were pregnant," Marcus said, and now he looked sick, really sick. "Would it have mattered?" I asked. "Would you have stayed? Or would you have just called me a liar trying to trap you?" He didn't answer. He couldn't answer. We both knew the truth. "I have 3 beautiful children," I said. "A successful business. A wonderful man who loves me and treats me like I'm precious. I have everything I ever wanted, and I did it all without you." "Good for you," Marcus said, but his voice cracked. "I'm happy for you, Emma. Really." "No, you're not," I said. "You're angry. You're angry because you thought I would fail. You thought I would always be that poor, desperate woman who needed you." "But I never needed you, Marcus. I just loved you, and you threw that love away like it was trash." One of his friends coughed. "Maybe we should give you two some privacy." "No need," I said. "I'm leaving. I just wanted Marcus to see me, to know that I'm okay, better than okay. I'm happy." I turned to walk out, but Marcus grabbed my arm. "Emma, wait," he said. "I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I was stupid and cruel, and I didn't see what I had until it was gone." I looked down at his hand on my arm, then back up at his face. "Let go of me," I said quietly. He let go. "Your apology means nothing to me," I said. "You don't get to be sorry now. You don't get to feel bad now. You made your choice. Now live with it." I walked out of the room and closed the door behind me. My hands were shaking again, but this time from anger and relief and victory all mixed together. I'd said what I needed to say. I'd looked him in the eye and showed him I was strong. It felt good, really good. I walked back to the ballroom. David and the kids were by the dessert table. Jake and Luke were eating cookies. Sophie had frosting on her nose. "Ready to go?" David asked, wiping Sophie's face with a napkin. "Yes," I said. "Let's go home." We walked toward the exit. People were still staring at us, whispering. The famous designer, the billionaire, the triplets, the scandal. Let them stare, I thought. Let them talk. I don't care anymore. But then I heard Victoria's voice behind us. Emma, wait! I stopped and turned around. Victoria was hurrying toward us, holding up her big dress so she wouldn't trip. Yes, I said. She looked at me, and something in her face had changed. The coldness was gone. Now she just looked tired and maybe a little bit sad. Marcus just told me, she said quietly, about the triplets, that they're his. They're not his, I said. They're mine. But he's their biological father, Victoria said. Biology doesn't make you a father, I said. Love makes you a father. Being there makes you a father. Marcus is neither of those things. Victoria looked at David, who was holding Luke and had his hand on Jake's shoulder. Sophie was holding my hand. Does your fiancé know? Victoria asked. About Marcus? Of course he knows, I said. David knows everything about me, the good and the bad. He loves me anyway. That's what real love looks like. Victoria's eyes got watery. I thought Marcus loved me, she whispered. Maybe he does, I said. Or maybe he just loves what you can give him. Your father's money, your family's connections, your fancy life. That's not fair, isn't it? I asked. Why did Marcus leave me? Because I was poor, because I couldn't help him move up in the world. He left me for you, because you were rich and successful and could give him the life he wanted. That's not love, Victoria. That's using someone. Victoria looked back at the ballroom where her wedding reception was happening, where Marcus was probably still in the groom's room feeling sorry for himself. He kept looking at you during the ceremony, Victoria said. I noticed. He couldn't stop looking at you. That's not my problem anymore, I said. He's your husband now. Your problem. Do you still love him? Victoria asked. I thought about her question. Did I still love Marcus? Did some part of me still hurt when I thought about our old life together? No, I said honestly. I don't love him. I don't hate him either. I feel nothing. He's just a stranger who taught me an important lesson about what I deserve. What lesson? Victoria asked. That I deserve someone who sees my value, I said. Someone who supports my dreams instead of crushing them. Someone who loves me when I have nothing, not just when I have everything. Marcus couldn't give me that, but David can. I looked at David, who was trying to stop Jake from putting cookies in his suit pockets. He looked up and smiled at me, that warm, genuine smile that made me feel safe and loved. Congratulations on your wedding, Victoria, I said. I hope you'll be happy. I really do. But don't wait for Marcus to make you happy. Make yourself happy. Build your own dreams. Don't let anyone make you feel small. Victoria nodded slowly. A tear rolled down her cheek, ruining her perfect makeup. "Thank you," she whispered, "for coming. I know Marcus didn't really want you here. He just wanted to hurt you. But I'm glad you came anyway. I needed to see this." "See what?" I asked. "That there's life after heartbreak," she said. "That you can lose everything and still win in the end." I reached out and squeezed her hand. "Just for a second." "You can," I said. "If you're brave enough to bet on yourself." Then I turned and walked away with my family, out of the fancy hotel, out of Marcus's life, out of that painful chapter forever. We drove home in the Bentley. The triplets fell asleep in their car seats, tired from the excitement. David held my hand while his driver navigated the city streets. "How do you feel?" David asked quietly. "Free," I said. "I feel free." "Good," he said. "You looked beautiful today. Strong, confident. I was so proud of you." "I couldn't have done it without you," I said. "Knowing you were beside me made me brave." "You were already brave," David said. "I just gave you a reason to show it." When we got home, David carried all 3 sleeping children inside. We put them in their beds without waking them up. Sophie hugged her stuffed bunny. Jake curled up with his blanket. Luke spread out like a starfish, taking up the whole bed. I stood in their doorway, watching them sleep. These 3 perfect little humans. They would never know how hard things were when they were babies. They would never know about Marcus or the pain or the struggle. They would just know love, security, happiness. That's what I wanted for them. That's what I worked so hard to give them. David came up behind me and wrapped his arms around my waist. "They're lucky to have you," he whispered. "I'm lucky to have them," I said. "They saved me. When Marcus left and I had nothing, they gave me a reason to keep going, a reason to fight. And now, look at you," David said. "You're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're amazing, Emma." I turned around and kissed him. A soft, grateful kiss. "I love you," I said. "I love you too," he said. "Forever, forever." That word used to scare me. Marcus promised forever and broke it. But when David said forever, I believed him. 3 months after the wedding, something unexpected happened. I was at my office, working on designs for the next season, when my assistant came in looking nervous. "Emma," she said, "there's someone here to see you. He doesn't have an appointment, but he says it's important." "Who is it?" I asked. "Marcus Chen," she said quietly. My heart jumped. I hadn't seen or heard from Marcus since the wedding. I thought that chapter was completely closed. "Should I tell him you're busy?" my assistant asked. I thought about it. Part of me wanted to say yes, to refuse to see him, to show him that he didn't matter anymore. But another part of me was curious. What could he possibly want? "Send him in," I said, "but stay close. If I need you, I'll call." Okay, she said, looking worried. A minute later, Marcus walked into my office. He looked different than he did at the wedding. Tired, older, sad. "Hello, Emma," he said. "Marcus," I said, not standing up, not offering him a chair. "What do you want?" "To talk," he said. "Please, just 5 minutes." I looked at my watch. "You have 3 minutes. Talk." Marcus took a deep breath. I made a mistake, the biggest mistake of my life. I should have never left you. I should have never said those terrible things. You were the best thing that ever happened to me, and I threw it away. "Is that all?" I asked coldly. "No," he said. "I want to know about the triplets. I want to meet them. I want to be part of their lives." I stood up so fast my chair rolled backward. "Absolutely not," I said. "Emma, they're my children." "No, they're not," I said firmly. "You gave up any right to them when you abandoned us. You don't get to come back now just because you regret your choices." "I'm their father," Marcus said. "You're nothing to them," I said. "They have a father, David. He's the one who reads them bedtime stories. He's the one who teaches them things. He's the one who wipes their tears and makes them laugh. You're just the man who donated DNA." "That's not fair," Marcus said, his voice rising. "I didn't know you were pregnant. If I'd known—" "You would have what?" I interrupted. "Stayed, pretended to love me, made us all miserable?" "No, thank you. You did us a favor by leaving. You made room for someone better." Marcus's face crumpled. He looked like he might cry. "I lost everything," he said. "Victoria left me. She found out I've been thinking about you since the wedding. She said I never really loved her. She was right." "That's not my problem," I said. "I have nothing, Emma," Marcus said. "No wife, no money. Victoria's family cut me off. I lost my job. I have nothing." I felt a tiny bit of sympathy, just a tiny bit. But mostly, I felt nothing. "You made your bed, Marcus," I said. "Now sleep in it. That's what you told me 3 years ago, remember, when you threw me out?" "I was wrong," he said. "I was so wrong. Please, Emma, give me another chance. Let me make it up to you. Let me be a father to my kids." "No," I said simply. "Please, get out of my office," I said. "And don't come back. If you try to contact me or my children again, I'll get a lawyer. I'll make sure you never get within 100 feet of them. Do you understand?" Marcus looked at me with desperate eyes. "Emma, get out," I said again. Louder this time. He turned and walked slowly toward the door. His shoulders were slumped. He looked defeated. At the door, he stopped and turned back. "I'm sorry," he said, "for everything. You deserved better. You always deserved better." "I know," I said, "and I found better. Goodbye, Marcus." He walked out. The door closed behind him. I sat back down at my desk and let out a long breath. My hands were shaking, but not from fear or sadness, from relief. That was the final closure I needed. Seeing him broken and sorry didn't make me feel good. It just made me feel done, completely done with that part of my life. I picked up my phone and called David. "Hey, beautiful," he answered. "How's your day?" "Marcus came to my office," I said. "What?" David's voice got sharp. "Are you okay? Do you want me to come there?" "No, I'm fine," I said. He wanted to apologize. He wanted to meet the triplets. I said no. "Good," David said. "He doesn't deserve you. He doesn't deserve them." "I know," I said. "I just wanted to hear your voice." "I love you," David said. "So much." "I love you too," I said. "Come home early if you can. Let's take the kids to the park." "I'll be there in an hour," David said. That night, after the park and dinner and baths and bedtime stories, I sat on the couch with David. The house was finally quiet. The triplets were asleep. The dishes were done. The toys were put away. "Do you think Marcus will try to come back again?" David asked. "No," I said. "I think he finally understands it's over, really over." "How do you feel about that?" David asked. "Good," I said honestly. "I don't hate him. I don't wish bad things for him. But I don't want him in my life either. That door is closed forever." "Locked and bolted," David said with a small smile. "Locked and bolted," I agreed. David pulled me close. I rested my head on his shoulder and closed my eyes. This was home. This quiet moment, this feeling of safety and love. "When should we get married?" David asked suddenly. I lifted my head and looked at him. "Are you asking me to pick a date?" "Yes," he said. "I don't want to wait anymore. I want you to be my wife. I want to legally be the triplets' father. I want us to be a real family in every way." My eyes filled with tears, happy tears. "How about spring?" I said. "April, when the flowers are blooming and everything feels new." "April sounds perfect," David said. "Small wedding or big?" "Small," I said immediately. "Just us and the kids and a few close friends. Nothing fancy, just real and meaningful." "That sounds exactly like you," David said, kissing my forehead. We sat there in comfortable silence for a while. Then David spoke again. "You know what I love most about you?" he asked. "What?" I said. "You never let the hard things make you bitter," he said. "Marcus hurt you. He tried to destroy you. But instead of becoming angry and mean, you became stronger and kinder. You built something beautiful out of your pain. That's rare, Emma. That's special." I didn't know what to say. No one had ever seen me that way before. No one had ever put words to what I'd been trying to do all these years. "I had to," I said finally, "for the kids. I didn't want them to grow up with a bitter, angry mother. I wanted them to see strength and hope and possibility. And that's exactly what they see," David said. "You're an amazing mother, an amazing woman. I'm the luckiest man alive." "Stop," I said. laughing through my tears. "You're going to make me cry for real." "Good tears?" he asked. "The best tears," I said. 6 months later, David and I got married in a small garden ceremony. Just 20 people. The triplets were our ring bearers and flower girl. Sophie threw petals everywhere, including in Luke's hair. Jake tried to eat one of the rings. It was perfect chaos. I wore a simple white dress that I designed myself. Nothing fancy, nothing dramatic, just elegant and me. David cried when he saw me walk down the aisle. Big, real tears that he didn't try to hide. "You're beautiful," he mouthed. I smiled. Not the fake smile I used to wear when I was married to Marcus. A real smile, a happy smile. We said our vows. Simple promises to love and support and cherish each other, to be partners, to build a life together. When the officiant said, "You may kiss the bride," David kissed me softly while our children cheered and clapped. "I love you, Mrs. Park," David whispered. "I love you too," I said. The reception was in the same garden. We had dinner and cake and dancing. The triplets ran around playing with their cousins from David's side of the family. Everyone was laughing and happy. At one point, I looked around at all the people I loved, at my children playing in the grass, at my husband talking with friends, and I felt overwhelming gratitude. This life, this beautiful, messy, perfect life. I built it from nothing. From pain and tears and fear, I created something wonderful. Marcus thought he broke me when he left, but he didn't break me. He freed me. He freed me to become the person I was always meant to be. 1 year after our wedding, Emma's Designs opened stores in 15 countries. We were one of the fastest growing fashion companies in the world, but the success didn't change me. I still remembered where I came from. I still treated people with kindness and respect. I still worked hard and stayed humble. David and I had another baby, a little boy we named Michael. The triplets loved their baby brother. They fought over who got to hold him and help feed him. Our house was loud and chaotic and full of love. Exactly what I always wanted. Sometimes, late at night when everyone was asleep, I would think about that scared girl crying in her car 3 years ago. The girl with holes in her shoes and 2 bags of belongings and nowhere to go. I wanted to tell her, "You're going to be okay. More than okay. You're going to be happy. The pain you're feeling right now, it's going to make you strong. It's going to teach you what you're really made of. Keep going. Keep fighting. Keep believing. Everything you dream about is coming. Just don't give up." 5 years after Marcus's wedding, I got a letter in the mail. It was from Marcus. I almost threw it away without reading it, but something made me open it. Inside was a simple note. "Dear Emma, I know you told me never to contact you again. I'm respecting that. This is the last time you'll hear from me. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for showing me what real strength looks like. Thank you for proving that success isn't about money or status, but about character and determination. Thank you for being the amazing mother my children need, even though I failed them. I've spent the last 5 years working on myself. I got therapy. I got a regular job. I learned to be happy with simple things. I learned that happiness doesn't come from what you have, but from who you are. I'm sorry for everything I did to hurt you. You deserved better. You always deserved better. I hope you're happy. I hope your life is everything you dreamed it would be. Thank you for the lesson. Even though I learned it too late, Marcus, I read the letter twice. Then I folded it up and put it in a drawer. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel sad. I just felt nothing. Marcus was part of my past, a closed chapter, a lesson learned. That night, I told David about the letter. "How do you feel?" he asked. "Fine," I said. He apologized. He's working on himself. That's good for him. But it doesn't change anything for me. My life is here, with you, with our children. With the business I built, Marcus is just a stranger now. "Good," David said. "He doesn't deserve your energy, not even your anger." "I know," I said. "I'm done giving him any part of me, even my thoughts." And I was completely done. 10 years after Marcus threw me out, I was standing on a stage accepting an award for Business Woman of the Year. Emma's Designs had become a household name. We employed over 5,000 people. We gave millions to charity. We changed lives. My speech was short and simple. 10 years ago, someone told me I would never be anything special. They told me I had no dreams and no future. They broke my heart and shattered my confidence. But they also gave me a gift. They gave me the gift of knowing what I was really made of. I'm here tonight not because I'm special or talented or lucky. I'm here because I refused to let someone else's opinion of me become my reality. I'm here because I chose to believe in myself when no one else did. If you're out there right now feeling small or worthless or stuck, I want you to know something. You are not what happened to you. You are not what people say about you. You are what you choose to become. So choose strength. Choose courage. Choose to believe in yourself even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Your past does not define your future. Your pain does not determine your worth. You get to write the next chapter. Make it a good one. The crowd stood up and clapped. I saw David in the front row with tears running down his face. The triplets were home with the babysitter, probably making a mess and having fun. This was my life now. Success, love, family, purpose, and I earned every bit of it. Not with luck, not with help from others, with hard work and determination and refusing to stay down when life knocked me over. Marcus thought throwing me away would break me. Instead, it made me. And that was the best revenge of all. You have come to the end of this wonderful story. Please don't forget to like the video, share to your friends to watch and learn, and also subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified once we drop another interesting story like this. Comment below what you learned from the story and the interesting part of the story you love most.